In this Blender beginners tutorial, I will show you how to create a tapered mug that has a curved base. Other tutorials can be found in my playlists. I'm going to assume that you're a complete beginner in Blender, so some of the operations I should be going through, some of you may already know. So the first thing I'm going to do is just hit return to remove this banner. With this cube selected, hit delete to remove it. And then hold down shift followed by A. And next to mesh, select the cylinder. Now the next operation you don't have to do, but what I'm going to do, this next to where it says add cylinder here at the base or at the bottom of the screen, just select the little arrow and change the vertices from 32 to 64. Now a few operations you will need, especially if you're a beginner, you need to be aware of in Blender, is to zoom in and out. You use your middle mouse, so you just roll your middle mouse. Okay, so you roll your middle mouse. If you want to reposition or move your view, you hold down shift plus your middle mouse and then just move your mouse to position your view. So I'm going to press tab, which will take me into edit mode, then 1 on my numbers pad, that'll take me into front view. I'm going to roll my middle mouse to zoom in. Also sometimes this will take you into perspective view, so I'm going to just press 1 on my numbers pad again. Now keep your pointer towards the middle of the screen and just press Z on your keyboard and select wireframe. Then if you hold down your left mouse button and then move your mouse, you can draw a box over the top vertices. If you've done this in solid view, it would only select the ones facing you. So with these selected, if you keep an eye to the top left hand side of this screen, what I'm going to do is press S and move my mouse until it's about 0.7. Doesn't have to be 100%, so just 0.7. This is saying 0.7064. That will do. So that's S and move your mouse. I'm going to do a box select along the bottom. And this time I'm going to come over to the right hand side and look for the little triangle. And this will say Object Data Properties. Select this. And next to the vertex group box, select the little plus sign. Now most importantly, select Assign. Now press tab on your keyboard to go into object mode. And look for the little wrench. This will say Modifiers Properties. Select this, and select Add Modifier, and then select Bevel. Now next to limit method, it'll say angle. Select this, and then select vertex group. And next to vertex group, left click and select group. If you hold your left mouse button over the amount, it says 0.1, you can move this to a figure that you want to use. I'm aiming for 0.45. You can also use these little arrows, or you can type it in manually. Then in the segments box, I'm going to just use this little arrow here and select it until I've got 10. Now importantly, there's a little drop down arrow. Select this and then select apply. Now to make the handle, you can do it, there's many different ways, but for ease I'm going to actually hold down shift followed by A, and next to curve I'm going to select path. You could use some of these other curves, but select path. And we want to rotate this on its Y axis. So first press R followed by Y and then 90 to rotate it by 90 degrees, and then left click to accept. Press tab on your keyboard to go into edit mode And freeze, just select this little move button here, and then using the red arrow, hold down your left mouse and drag this over. So first of all, I'm going to just make a very simple sort of shape for the handle. So if I select the top vertex and then press G for grab, I can bring this over somewhere near the edge of what will be the mug. Do the same for this one, and I can bring this over to here. We're not looking at this here, we're looking at the curve in the middle. And now I'm going to select this one, and I don't know, press G again, and we'll drag this one over. And then this one, G again, grab this. So we got a very simple handle shape. Hopefully you can see this here. Press F1 again. Sorry, not F1, 1 on my numbers pad. Once you've got your basic shape, come over to object mode, or press tab on your keyboard to go into object mode. And then down on the right hand side you'll see a little curve. And this will say object data properties. Select this and select the arrow next to geometry. Make sure that round, it's under bevel, make sure round is selected. And again, I'm going to use these arrows here, and I'm going to select these till I've got something like 0.04. And in the resolution, I don't know, we'll take this up to 6. Also, you may want to press Z on your keyboard again and go into select solid view. Now if you press 3 on your numbers pad, we're going to extrude this on its Y axis. Again, keep an eye on the top here for the size. So I'm going to just press S followed by Y, and then move my mouse, I don't know, let's make it about 3. That'll do. Again, doesn't have to be 100%. And then left click. And what you should have is a very basic looking handle. So with this still selected, what we can do now is press tab again to go into edit mode. I'm going to press 1 on my numbers pad to go into front view and start actually creating a better shape. So I don't know, I'm not going to spend too much time doing this because obviously as a tutorial it will get boring, so that I think we'll do there. But most handles don't finish with a sort of sharp edge next to the mug. So what I would do, again, you might want to roll your middle mouse and get a good view, and then hold down shift in your middle mouse to get your sort of view looking okay. Now the shape of the handle will change, so you will have to go back and change it again. So if you select the bottom vertex and then press E, you can extrude this so it sort of comes up like this, and then you can press E again and drag this in, keeping it quite tight. And I'm going to just hold my middle mouse button down and look at the kind of shape I've got, and that's sort of the kind of thing I'm looking for. But again, I'm going to press 1 on my numbers pad and maybe grab this one down and over, and I'm going to do a box select on this one, and I don't know, we'll just drag this out a bit. Let's have a look, see what it looks like. I think that's probably as good as I'm going to get. No, it's actually, again, you can see here we're quite sharp edge here, so I'm going to press G, move this over. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing this. So 1 on my numbers pad again, and I'm going to select this one, and this time I think we'll probably leave it there. So I'm going to actually press E, extrude this down, then E again and turn it in, and maybe select this one, grab it up and this one. Grab this one up, and again I could carry on with this. As you can see it keep going. I'm going to press E again and extrude this and whack it in. And that's sort of giving me the kind of shape I want against the mug. One on my numbers pad again, and start shaping a handle again. So we'll go with that maybe, and this, I don't know, that will do. Incidentally, if you want more vertices to create more detailed shapes, you can. If you select, say, 2 vertices, then right click, you can also subdivide it, and this will give you a vertex in the middle. I'm going to press Ctrl Z and get rid of that. And for now, I think that will probably do. Okay, one on my numbers pad, tab to go into edit mode, and then what I'm going to do is select object, and then next to convert to, I'm going to select mesh. Now incidentally, another thing, if you're going to do the next operation, you'll need a solid object. So if you start with a mug shape, i.e. hollow, this won't work very well. You have to sort of have a solid object. So F1 again. What I'm going to do is, I've converted this to a mesh, come over to the modifiers property, the little wrench, select add modifier, and then select boolean, and next to object, left click and select cylinder. What this will do is it will get rid of anything inside the cylinder, and then look for the little drop down arrow, select this, and then select apply. So that's a sort of basic handle. It's not perfect. I could have probably done a bit more with this, but for a tutorial this will do. And the only other thing I would advise is, if you select the move button, just use the little red arrow and just tweak this in very slightly. Now select what's going to be the main part of the mug, the main body. I'm going to reposition this, and then press tab on your keyboard, and then use your middle mouse and just drag your view around so you can see the top, and then top right, select the little box that says face select. Select the top face, hit delete, and select only faces. Press 1 on your numbers pad again to go into front view, and look for the little box to the left hand side that says loop cut. Select this, place your mouse so that you've got a loop around the mug, and then left click, and this loop cut and slide box should appear. Take the number of cuts here up to 32. You can do this by dragging your mouse if you want, or you could use these little arrows. So this has got 32. You can put more in if you want, it's not that important. Now press tab on your keyboard again to go into object mode. Move your view so that you can see the sort of top area of your mug, and also you can see where you've brought your handle in slightly. Select add modifier, and then select solidify. I'm going to use the little arrows here to take this up to, I don't know, 0.06. I think that'll do. And also select even thickness. And again, use the drop down and then select apply. Now press tab on your keyboard again to go into edit mode, and then select hit Alt followed by A to deselect everything, and with this loop cut selected, just place your pointer so you've got a ring around the top and left click. And the next thing I'm going to do is select this move button and one on my numbers pad, and I'm going to use the blue arrow, just drag this up very slightly. You don't want much, probably less than one of the small squares. And then go into face select, and using your left mouse, draw a box over this front view. Press 3 on your numbers pad, hold down shift, and then do a box select. Press Control and then 1 on your numbers pad, and again do a box select. Then Control and 3 on your numbers pad and do another box select. You'll probably see there's a few at the bottom you've missed. So that should have selected everything. I'm going to leave the bottom unselected. That should leave everything on the outside selected. So let's put some colour on this mug. Hold down or press Z on your keyboard and select Material Preview. And look for the little red world. It'll say Material Properties and select New. Now if you left click on the white box next to base color, it'll bring this color wheel up. And I'm going to just drag this marker or this dot over to blue. You can choose whatever color you want, and I'll just take this slider all the way up. And what you'll find, this is colored all of the mug, but with this sort of front face of the mug, if you hold down Control followed by I, it inverts the selection. Now next to your first material, you'll see a little plus sign. Select this, select New, and make sure you select Assign. And this will change the color in the middle. And all I'm going to do here is again select this white bar and drag this up. Okay. Press Tab on your keyboard to go back into object mode, and then select your handle. And instead of adding a new color, next to new you'll see a little world. Select this and select the outside color that you created. So don't just select this blue materials tab here. Okay. So I'm just roll my middle mouse a bit to sort of zoom in. With this selected, hold down Control and left click, hold down Shift and left click the main body of the mug. So with the handle selected, Shift and then left click to select the mug, and hold down Control J to join these together. Now if you right click on the mug and then select Shade Smooth, it will smooth your mug. It looks like a smooth sort of object rather than something made up of a lot of squares. And the only other thing I'm going to do now, with these colors selected, drag the roughness from 0.5 down to 0, and then select the blue, and again drag this down to 0. And this will give you a very basic shiny sort of look for your mug. Now if you come up to the drop down box here, bearing in mind you're in material viewpoint shading mode, if you select the little drop down arrow here and then select this globe, you've got different options. So as this is a beginner's tutorial, I think what I'm going to do is select this black one here. This is like a studio sort of shader, and it'll give me this sort of view here. And what I'm going to do now is just position my mug by using Shift and my middle mouse, and maybe get a, I don't know, kind of view like this maybe. And once you've got roughly the view you're looking for, hold down Control followed by Alt and then 0 on your numbers pad. Press N on your keyboard to bring up this option here, Now I'm in a different view, so what I want to do is select view and then put a tick in camera to view, so lock camera to view. Now if you roll your middle mouse, you can change the view on your camera. You can also hold down control followed by your middle mouse and then move your mouse, gets a sort of smoother view. Shifting your middle mouse will reposition your view. Your middle mouse, you can change the angle. So let's go with this. Deselect your lock camera to view, save it going out of changing any settings, then press N to remove this. Okay, so that's a basic sort of looking mug. I'm not going to go into rendering as far as rendering a proper image. All I'm going to do here is I'm going to just deselect this box up here, show gizmo, and I'm going to deselect this box here which says show overlays. Now if you come to view, what you want to select, make sure you don't select viewport render animation, you'll end up with 250 pictures. Select viewport render image. Make sure you select the image and you should end up with a simple image looking like this. To save this image, come up to image, then save as, and I'm just going to go into my desktop and I'm literally going to call this what it is, mug, and then save as image. You can now close this down, and hopefully as a beginner you've created a very simple 3D mug. Hopefully that's helped someone. Thank you for watching. Cheers.